Alright, Kimbo White here. Quick thoughts on Alister Overeem Golden Glory and Fedor. Alister Overeem, the pulling out of the tournament, originally I jumped to conclusions and thought it was just him wanting to do what he wanted to do. Since then, I'm seeing all the videos online and everything, and seems that he went to the doctor, had legitimate injuries, and seems genuinely, kind of upset about the whole situation, and does seem like there's some type of other motive behind him getting cut. I don't know whether it's bad blood, the UFC, or not UFC, but Forza Strike Force, having some kind of bad blood there for him or Golden Glory. But I think I'm kind of thinking that I know what he said, that he wouldn't sign he didn't sign like he was interested in signing an exclusive contract with Strike Force. I don't see Strike Force having enough money to pay him to persuade him to do that. I think the UFC could, and I think possibly the release from Strike Force is the beginning of the negotiations with this Zuffa and the UFC. So we'll see how that pans out. As far as the rest of the Golden Glory fighters that got cut, no matter what, if you're dealing with the government or any big corporation, period, policy is policy, and you have to adhere by it. If they want to have their own policies as a fight team, then that's one thing. But UFC does business one way, and that's the way it is. You can't fault them for it. There's nothing wrong with it. It's the way things are done. So if they can't let the fighters get paid, and it's not like the fighter couldn't collect their paycheck, turn it over to Golden Glory, and let them handle their taxes and whatever else needs to be handled, and then cut them their money back. But it's kind of like the deal with Fedor, and getting to Fedor. If he didn't want to be too worried about co-promotion and this and that, and all he was, wanted to put on a few fights that the fans wanted to see, he could have signed a 3-fight deal with the UFC, exclusive, and then went, after a year or 2 years, whatever, went back to fighting wherever he wants to fight at. And he could have did that, but he didn't do it. And you look at how you want to look at it, but he could have gave us those fights. And whether he was ducking the fights or whether he just didn't care if we saw him, or either one, could have happened. And UFC did try to make it happen, so you can't fault them. Him getting cut from Strike Force now is, to be honest with you, when Dana White, says it's his third loss and he just got beat by a 42-year-old 185-pounder, Dan Henderson is in as good a shape probably as ever in his life, or close to it, just like Couture was when he beat Lesnar. But, you're talking quite the weight difference there between the two guys. They came in at, I believe, it was about a 20-pound weight difference in the fight, and you couldn't tell it. He got really, if you go back and watch the fight a couple times, it's a fairly one-sided fight. He almost pulled it out of his ass, about like he did with Rogers, but, if you compare what Overeem did to Rogers and what Fedor did with Rogers, I'll show you the difference between the two guys. I don't think at this point in his career right now, Fedor see a chance in hell in the fight with Overeem. So, whatever. That is what it is. And now I'm going to get to my UFC on versus 5 picks. I hate to say it, I really want Chris Lyle to take this one. and I hate to say it, I think that Hardy's going to be able to keep the distance and outstrike the striker. Even though most of the last wins come by decision, he might be able to get in, close the distance, and get. I don't see him getting Hardy down and submitting him. If you get to the ground with Lytle, it's dangerous. Not saying his takedowns are shit, but Dan Hardy has some best takedown defense. One of the people that have really taken down has been Koscheck and Johnson, and they're two of the best wrestlers in MMA. So I'm going to go with Hardy in that one, and I think Ben Henderson and Miller are really just. I might be overthinking it, and my initial reaction was that Jim Miller can close the distance and overpower Ben Henderson. And I really would like to see Jim Miller win this fight. But I'm just not sure. I think Ben Henderson is going to be a little bit fast and athletic for Miller. I don't know. I really would like to see Miller win this fight, but I just don't know if he's going to be able to control Henderson the way he's going to need to pull it out. And I think that I'm going to go with Ben Henderson in that fight. Definitely taking down Donald Cerrone over Charles Oliveira. And definitely taking Sadala over Ludwig. CB Dalloway over Jared Hammond. Joseph Benavidez over Eddie Wineland. And probably Ed Herman over Kyle Noak. And I'm not going to get too much more into the preliminary card on this event. Just not really a whole lot of fights on the rest of it. A lot of people, Cole Miller and TJ O'Brien would be a good one. I don't know. It's just a lot of fighters on there that a lot of people really know too well. But it ought to be an awesome main card and probably a pretty good prelim card. There's 8 prelim fights, and those 3 that I predicted will be. The Benavidez and Wineland will be a good fight, and the Dalloway and the Hammond fight should be pretty decent, because if Dalloway can't get the takedown, Hammond can knock Dalloway out for sure, or at least knock him stupid in TKO. So that is my UFC on versus 5 Hardy versus Lytle predictions. Everybody, let me know what they think.